Hey guys, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. I'm Zoe Waffle Baker and this is Living in Austin. Today we're going to talk about schools. If you have small humans and you're looking at relocating here, schools can be a very daunting, overwhelming thing. So let's get into it and talk about private, public, charter, all the things that you need to know about schools coming right up. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Zoe Waffle Baker with Agape Property Group here in Austin, Texas. If you're new to the channel, thank you for checking us out. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button below so that you get notified every time that we do a video. And we're uploading videos every week about what it's like to live, work, eat, play, the schools, all the things so that you know before you move. Now, as much as we love making these videos, we are licensed realtors here in the state of Texas, and we love helping people relocate to Austin even more. So if you are thinking about moving to Austin, make sure that you reach out. You've got our phone, email, and text below. We'd love to hear from you. We're helping people move here every day, and it's an absolute joy to be able to help people move into their next chapter of their lives in Austin. So make sure that you reach out. We'd love to hear from you. But let's crack on into schools. Let's talk about schools. It's important. If you have small humans, it's important. It's a big factor if you're looking at moving anywhere and you have kids. It can be very, very overwhelming. So we're going to try and, split it out a little bit so it's not so overwhelming and help you figure out what's going on in Austin with regards to schools. I would say the first thing to know is you've got a lot of options. Now, that might not actually be good news for you because more options means more decisions, but options are good. Now, there are 29 districts in the Austin area. Your main one, as far as central Austin is concerned, is the Austin ISD. And then somewhat a little bit to the west of downtown is Eanes ISD. And then obviously all the other ones surrounding as well. We've got a bit of a map up there for you, which I don't want to confuse you. It can be a little bit confusing looking at all of that. So we've got a link below as well from the Texas Education Association that actually has the zip codes and the ISD that it falls in. So that might help you if you want to be very specific on zip code and the school district that you're in. Now, according to niche.com, I've got my a lot of information from there. Eanes ISD is the number one in the Austin area, and the Westlake High School falls at number 2, according to niche, for secondary schools, for high schools. So that's Eanes, and obviously they've got a lot of very good elementary schools that fall in there as well. Now, the actual top 3 school districts in the Austin area is Eanes, then Leander, then Dripping Springs. Now, where does Austin ISD fall? It falls right down at number 9. Now, something that I've mentioned in a previous video is about the recapture program. The recapture program is something that the Texas does statewide, and it essentially it looks at the property wealthy cities and reallocates funds from the taxes to non-property wealthy states, so that the taxes that we pay are more evenly distributed amongst the school system. And just in the year of 2020/21, $710 million was taken from the AISD, a tax budget, if you like, was taken and reallocated elsewhere in Texas. Eanes was number 6 on the list, so that was number 1. AISD was number 1, and then like 512 million is the next one, which was Houston. Yeah, it was less, 512 million. But Eanes fell in as the 6th, and they had to reallocate 101 million. Now, I'm not going to go into this because I did on a previous video, but as an AISD parent, it's a bit of a tough pill to swallow, especially when AISD does come in 9th on those rankings on such sites like niche.com. So if you're not into going down the public school route, then there's also the private schools, and there's a huge range of private schools in Austin. So anything from Montessori based up to just all kinds, up to I've got a friend that has her kid in a school that it's just totally different academy style of learning, which works for her kid. So they're more specific to, or they might be more looking at the holistic child, all kinds basically. So I've also put a link into for private schools as well. We also have a really good range, in my opinion, of special education schools. So there's obviously not obviously to you maybe, the Texas School for Deaf. There is the Texas School for Blind, of course. There's, excuse me, there's the Capital School of Austin, which helps kids with speech, language, and that have learning difficulties. There's Rawson Saunders private school, which helps kids that have dyslexia, and then you've got other smaller kind of smaller learning facilities. There's one that we know of, which is called Linda Mood Bell, which specifically helps for kids with reading. So there really is a wide range that might be able to help your kids out if they need there. Now there's also the charter schools. Now charter schools were kind of new to me when I came here, but Austin has about 100 charter schools within the surrounds. And what are they? So they are public schools, but they're kind of public schools with a twist, and they don't have to follow the exact curriculum that the public schools do follow. So it just gives a little bit more power to the teachers and to their classroom, and they say that it just means that they can teach to the specific child or specifically to their classroom as opposed to following that curriculum. So that's an option. Again, you've got a link below on the charter schools available. There really is a huge range, and they are scattered everywhere across the city. And Montessori, if you don't want to go down the traditional route of education, there is the Montessori schools. I actually had a client that moved here from California specifically for a Montessori school here. So they've got a great reputation as well. There's the Austin Waldorf School and a whole host of other schools like that. Now, if you are overwhelmed by the choice of like the alternative education, if you want to call it that, then there are some great consultants that can help you with this. They can find out exactly what you're looking for, what your child's needs are, any, special education as far as, are they gifted, are they not so gifted, are they artistic, are they whatever. There are consultants here that can do it, and there's one that I know of, and it's and again I'll put the link below, but it's alted.com, so alternativeeducation.com, and you can use them as a resource, as a consultant. So personally, on a personal note, one of the things that I love about Austin is the variety. And I'm just going to give an example of where our kids have gone to daycare. It is the most amazing place. Think free-range chickens, but it's like free-range children. Outdoor play base, loads of fun. It's all about getting dirty, creative play, figuring things out, bit of conflict resolution, because you've got kids of all ages. It's just, for me, for having grown up on a farm in the 80s, it was amazing. And I only mention that because we moved from London, and there would have been no chance in the world to have ever found a place like that in London. I don't even know if it'd be possible, kind of, and even in England, but don't quote me on that. It's so different, and where my kids have gone, and that's okay. Yeah, it is kind of different, but it's not ridiculously rare here. There's other places that are kind of similar, and that's what's cool. So it starts at such a young age, and then your options are broadened as they get older. So that's what I think so cool about the city. So if you end up finding a home, and the school's not 100% right, that the zoned school's not 100% right for you, I just want to say, you do have options, more options. Yes, you can go down the charter route. With the charter, they are not kind of zip code defined as well, which is kind of cool. You can also do transfers. So you can do transfers within the school district, and you can do inter-school district transfers as well. Now, a note with that though, some schools are blocked a lot. They're at capacity, so they don't actually take people in. They don't take new kids from out of the zone. So keep an eye on that. The one thing I would say about schools here is you do have a huge amount of resources. Of course, you've got greatschools.com to look at. You have other resources. You've got consultants to talk to. What I would say is, you do have all those resources, but go check out the school, because the school might be poorly rated on Great Schools, but that might be for a number of reasons. So go and check it out. Go meet the principal. Go and get a feel for the school. I'll be honest, my daughter's school isn't particularly highly rated, but I love it. They've got a massive kitchen. They've got, a garden. They're out there planting things, and they're in the big kitchen cooking stuff. And I just think that's so cool. And it's small, and I love the fact that my daughter goes to a really small school. But if I just looked at Great Schools, I would have totally gone past it. So that's my recommendation, probably more as a mother, is just meet the schools. You could be pleasantly surprised, get a good feel for it, much like a home. Sometimes you get a vibe and you get a feel for it. And with that, I would also say what is pretty cool is if you go onto a local mums Facebook group. I personally am on Mums in South Austin. I think it's actually Mummies in South Austin. And if you're looking at South Austin or North Austin or West Austin, look for those Facebook groups and ask the questions there. You know, I think there's something like 5,000 mothers in a Facebook group for South Austin. Like, you're going to get some great input. You're going to get some great feedback on what those schools are like. So check them out if you're really getting down to the detail of homes, areas, and schools. So that's it from me, guys. That's it on schools. If you've got any questions, as always, make sure that you reach out. You've got our phone, email, text. Let us know what you're up to, how we can help. Don't forget to hit that little subscribe button. Go on, do it. Little button right there, and you'll get more information from us next week on how we can help you or give you more information about Austin. Okay, until then, guys, have a great week. See you soon. Bye.